this whole thing with the team that we're about to talk about, not so exciting. After a disappointing sweep at the hands of the Celtics in the first round of the playoffs, Kyrie's future in Brooklyn is uncertain. How much will KD be involved in Kyrie's decision? So KD said the following on his podcast: there is no involvement at all. I can be involved with this man's livelihood. This is much bigger than me. Being a free agent is one of the most important times in your career. That can't be swayed by anyone else. Nothing can happen right now. I don't think he can make a decision on opting out until the 29th, I think. So I'll just let things play out and see what happens. Freddie, I'm going to start with you on this. What role should KD play in Kyrie's decision making?
It can't just be 0. But it can't be 100. Here's why I'm struggling with Kevin Durant and people saying that you should have a say in what somebody else is going to do. Because how many times did people crush other people and say, hey, Kevin Durant, why are you following along with other people? Why'd you follow Golden State? Why'd you follow Kyrie Irving? And now the same people are saying, hey, Kevin Durant, man, you know, you got to be with Kyrie Irving, boss. You know, you guys are tied together. Kevin Durant's like, whoa, wait a minute. It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, in my opinion, when it comes to Kevin Durant. If he gets involved and Kyrie Irving leaves, they're going to say, oh, you're not a good leader, you're not a good friend, whatever that is. If he doesn't say anything and Kyrie Irving decides to say, well, who's the alpha male with this basketball team? If I'm Kevin Durant, he said the right thing, he should do the right thing, and that is stay completely out of it. This is beyond the scope of any kind of involvement, Christine and Courtney, that Kevin Durant has to have. Because Kyrie Irving is going to make this decision based on what? Not his friendship with Kevin Durant, but what's best for Kyrie Irving. And Kevin Durant clearly understands that because he did what was best for him when he left Oklahoma City to go to Golden State. Then he left Golden State to go to the Brooklyn Nets and sided with Kyrie Irving. So he's not going to want people telling him what to do. That's why he's exercising the same option here. So I think he's done the right thing, said the right thing, stay completely out of it, let Brooklyn and Kyrie work itself out, and whatever it lands, then that's what he's going to wind up doing.
I understand not like negotiating or brokering between the franchise and the player, but this is a team sport and actions are not contained in a vacuum. Whatever Kyrie Irving does is going to affect Kevin Durant this season and beyond that potentially. So also, Kevin Durant knows that Brooklyn wants to keep him happy, and that's a big a sticking point for Kyrie Irving in these negotiations. Give me the max deal because, if I leave, Kevin Durant's probably not too far behind me and he's going to go somewhere else that's not Brooklyn. So if I'm Kevin Durant and I know this, I'm probably not using me as leverage would bother me as a player because
Sure.
Kevin Durant has earned what he's earned on his own. Some people are going to say different, but he's earned what he's earned on his own. And I feel like Kyrie Irving at this point, using KD as a ploy here to get what he wants, even if you are close friends, I'm not sure how that would sit with me. I think Kevin Durant has a right. I'm not saying that he's going to do it. I think he has a right to have that sort of come to Jesus talk with Kyrie Irving and say, look, this is what happened last year. I really want to play with you. We are better together than we are apart. So, the deal that you might be getting from Brooklyn might not be the max. It might not be 4 years, 198, what I got last offseason. But you can eventually get there. They're going to give you a short-term deal that's probably loaded with incentives, so you'll make some money. And even if you didn't, 36.5 versus missing $17 million last season, Christine and Freddie, for not playing in those games, that's a sizable chunk of money. I feel like if you're KD, you say, hey, let's lock in. Let's go win a championship this year. Let's contend in the East at the bare minimum, and you can set yourself up because I'm going to help you do that.
Well, that's all well and good. That would work on somebody not named Kyrie Irving. And here's why. Because we've seen this, Courtney, before with Kyrie Irving, that you could say the sky is blue. If he doesn't believe it, he's not following along. You can give him as many receipts as possible, and he's going to say, nope, don't believe it. Kevin Durant can go to him and say exactly what you said. Hey, Kyrie, together, we're terrific. Separate, we're not going to be the same. No matter where you go, you're not going to have it as good as you have it right now with me because this is what we signed up for together. And Kyrie me looking and said, man, Brooklyn didn't give me the respect I was looking for. They should have given me the max extension. I shouldn't have gone and opted in or opted out to get what I want. You don't know how that's going to set him on whatever road that Kyrie Irving is going to be on. And I'm a big believer. You can say whatever you want, but your actions will dictate exactly what that's all about. And if you're Kevin Durant, you have a history by saying, man, when things went haywire in Cleveland, he went his own way. When things went haywire in Boston, he went his own way. I go back to remember he had the whole Boston fans, and he said, I want to be here as long as you have me. Like, Kyrie, he's our man. Then he tried to power play the Boston Celtics, and they said, dude, you're not going to talk to us that way, and he couldn't wait to get out of Boston. If I'm Kevin Durant, you can't place your future with uncertainty that you don't know what's going to happen involving Kyrie Irving.
You can't, but I feel like if there's anybody that Kyrie Irving would listen to, it's Kevin Durant.
I disagree.
Remember what he said at the end of that Game 4 against Boston. When he's, pontificating about how, me, KD, Sean Marks, Joe Tsai, we're going to put our heads together this offseason, thinking about the future. He threw KD's name in that mix there. He clearly respects his opinion. He helped get him to the Brooklyn Nets because those two had the same mission at the time when they came over from their respective organizations to play and win a championship here. I feel like if there's anybody who can get through to Kyrie Irving, it's Kevin Durant. And Kyrie foreshadowed that at the end of his postseason. Now, I'm not saying KD has to come up with the numbers, figures, and cents to help this deal get through, but he can talk some sense into him, guide him to water, because at this point, it feels like Kyrie Irving is a lost person amongst all of this, because think about it. This is going to be the fodder for the next 48 hours until he opts in or opts out. And that's going to be something that we find out 90 seconds before it happens.
Of course.
Because he's going to run this thing up until the very deadline.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.